This is Coffee Talk with Sarah Bruschi, and what I'm going to talk to you about today is a connection between something my dad used to always say and something that has become more and more said in schools these days that I used to never hear. So here's my name, Sarah Bruschi. You can contact me, and that's a you, at saraheducator.com. And what I'd like to talk to you about today in Coffee Talk, and I should draw a picture of my coffee. Yesterday I drew two because I had 2 cups of coffee. Today this will be just like, I don't know, this will be like a really big coffee mug. How about that? Instead of 2 separate coffees, it's like 1 giant coffee. Yeah, that's like sort of 2 coffees in one, yeah? So there we have it. There's my giant coffee. And today I would like to talk to you about something my dad used to say that I found funny. And there's a couple things that would refer to me or like ways he would go about it. Anyway, I would say, well, what do I do about this thing? What do I do about that thing? Is this okay? Is that okay? And he would say, the answer is either yes, no, or maybe. And I was like, really, Dad? That's super duper helpful. Thanks so much for that. He's like, yeah, that's great. All right, good. We've had a good talk. And I was like, all right. And then he would go about, I don't know, I would say, when do we do this? How much should I do that? I can't even remember what I'd ask him. But because I think I stopped asking because he would say, you can do that always, sometimes, or never. And I'm like, every time I hear these choices, I think of my dad and I go, well, that's really, really helpful. Thanks so much. But honestly, it is. These are the 3 choices you have. So if you're going to feel bad about yourself for some reason, you can do that always, sometimes, or never. If, is something going to go bad for you? Well, yes, no, or maybe. Will I make it through this tunnel, across this bridge, or, across like a cruise liner? Will I die on the way? Well, the answer is either yes, no, or maybe. And so that's kind of how he dealt with his worries and his fears, was to put them in those 3, to say the potential is one of these 3 categories of things. Throw your line into the water and see if you catch a yes, a no, or a maybe. And, are you going to have pain for the rest of your life? Is this pain going to be here? Well, for some people it'll be always, some it'll be sometimes, and some it'll be never. When will that happen again? It'll always keep happening. Sometimes it'll keep happening, or it'll never happen again. So these are like, strangely, either he was good at this or I took this and ran with it into the category of research, because you do sometimes need to categorize things that clearly. Is this a yes, a no, or a maybe? Is this a black, a white, or a gray? And so he was really good at making it clear to me that those were choices, those were options that could happen, and maybe I had no choice. It was you just have to go forward. You're going to worry about it? Well, go for it. It's going to be one of these 3 things. You don't really have any control over it, so let it be. And so that was that. That was an interesting thing. Now, that's research. That's also, why is that math? Math because, sometimes you do, again, have to separate things into a definition. Like, is that a yes, a no, or a maybe? And so this really helps me a lot in doing research. And, I guess in math, it's like, is it a true, a false, or is it something in between? You pretty much can't have an in between for a lot of math things. Is oftentimes just true or false. And this is something also that works for English language arts, because you can say, well, is that yes, no, maybe, or always, sometimes, never? What's the relationship here? I wish I had more examples right now, but I'll think of some later and come up with it better, come up with a better chat the next time. But how does this relate to you and the current atmosphere of our public schools? Well, this somehow translates into bonus. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to put these down here. I'm going to put them up here so you can actually read them, because I think what's at the bottom of my screen is probably hard to read. So I'm going to delete that and put, what has this become in our public schools? It has become optional. Oh, it's optional. It's bonus. Oh, it's, you can skip it this time. Skip this one or these. It's become, this is extra. This is, I don't know, just a bazillion different ideas for you don't really have to do it. But the answer is you do really have to do it. So these are sort of like in this zone of maybe, right? And, or no. And what I change them over to is always. You must. So maybe that's actually more the sometimes or never. Do these sometimes. Do these never. Really? Do these always. If this is optional, it's not optional. Somebody's handing you something that is at your grade level. If they're not, that's kind of cruel, right? Like, why would they hand you a piece of paper that you as, whoa, hope that's good. You as a student, sorry, I don't know what that was. First time I get things that pop up like that. So this guy, you're a student and your teacher's like, I think I'll be cruel to them today. And I will hand them something for a 12th grader, even though they're in 7th grade. They're pretty much not doing that. I mean, that's in the old days, maybe what was kind of fun was, let's mess with the kids and let's give them a 12th grade thing and let's call it optional or bonus or something, or challenge. That's the other one, or another one. There's so many of these words, you guys. And in our day, I want to say that I think these actually were sometimes just to give the teacher a little kick in the pants. They're like, they're like, this will be fun for me. This student might not enjoy it, but I'm going to see what they can do. And sometimes they literally thought, my students can do so much more. Let me give that a try. So there's that, but nowadays, no, I'm really saying this as like, this is 7th grade material. I saw it back then for myself. I said, they're not really doing this, where it's unapproachable. These people are not rocket scientists themselves. They're working in a classroom. They go home to their family, to practically the same size house. They're not flying up astronauts going into space. They're not going in the afternoon, at 3:30 p.m. The bell rings at 3. They're not going at 3:30 p.m. to go perform some kind of neurosurgery. These people are just working on 12th grade, up through 12th grade curriculum. They do it in creative ways. Some of them are fantastic at it. But that's their line of thing, and they're supposed to be able to understand it, so I can do it too. So that's where I would approach it, even when it was back in the day, as kids say now. So you should approach it the same way is what I'm saying. You really should. These are never not to be done. Is that good? That's a double negative there. They're not never do this or sometimes do this. No, always do this. I don't know how to say it more emphatically. And I really want teachers to stop doing this. Stop saying optional. Stop saying bonus. Stop saying skip. Stop saying extra. Stop saying challenge. Just say, I don't know. Here's more practice. I don't know. I don't know what else to say about that. That is what it is, right? It's more practice. So, yeah, I'm going to come up with a better talk around this, but I feel like this has to be said in some way, and today's my day to do it, so that's what I'm doing. So now I'll decorate, because I noticed how cute this is. I'm going to decorate my coffee cup in little orange flowers, just because they're so cute, and this coffee cup is just yelling at me to decorate it with something. All right, so yeah, inside, I get all worked up. I'm like, I'm passionate about the education. And then know that I pretty much just go back to imagining beautiful little orangey flowers, and my dog, he's just sighing over there going yeah, this is the stuff I listen to. So, but I hope you get something out of that. Your child, if you want them to be even on grade level, they should always do optional, bonus, skip this one, extra, challenge, and any other word that seems like it. My dad would agree. He would say, go forth, put your line in the water, and see if you stink at it, always, sometimes, or never. Put your line in the water, see if it comes out as whether or not you can do it is a yes, a no, or a maybe. And get some help with those no's and maybes and enjoy the yeses and enjoy the always. Have fun with it. All right, I will see you at the next coffee talk. Have a great day.